When it comes to the value of US $1 bills, there's a lot to learn, and in this video, we're going to break down multiple different types of $1 bills that sold online, real auctions for a lot of money. Let's take this note, for example, you see on the screen. Now, did you know that this bill from 1977 was actually produced on a special type of paper called Natick test paper? Now, there's a few ways to tell if you have one of these rare bills. Just really quickly, this $1 bill sold for $2,400. Simply because it is a Natick test paper note and it's in good condition. Remember guys, condition is very important with your $1 bills, so keep your bills safe. But how do you know if you have one of these Natick test paper notes? Really quickly, over the years, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing has changed paper types to see if certain bills would hold up in circulation better than others. This was a small print run of different types of paper, but ultimately they decided not to use this combination of paper for US federal paper money. What you need to know for Natick test paper notes is it all comes down to the serial number range. So you have to have a 1977A $1 bill with the serial number range E7600001H through E8064000H. So anything between those numbers is considered to be a Natick test paper note, and it's going to be worth a ton more money than just $1. And that's just one example of many rare $1 bills we're going to go over in this video. When you're looking at the back of this 1995 $1 bill, you are not going to notice too much going on. You're going to have the back plate number at the bottom right hand side of the one there. That essentially just lets the employees know who are producing the bills where that specific note is located on a sheet for a specific printing plate. What you need to know is that on this specific bill, it is not that important, but what's really important on this bill that allowed it to sell for $3,000 is the fact that it is a test note error. When you flip the bill over to the front, you can see there's a ton of black ink. So what happens here is when they're warming up the machines, sometimes the employees will flood out the plates just to make sure the ink is evenly being spread across all of the bills. Now, something like this should have never gotten out of the facility, but it did. Whether or not that was from a Bureau of Engraving and Printing employee or it was just an accident is beyond me. But one thing you really need to be careful of is someone seeing a video like this one and saying, oh, I can just get a black Sharpie and try to replicate this error and turn my $1 bill into $3,000. Here's the reality. Most error bills like this need to be authenticated by PCGS or PMG, which is a third-party grading and authentication company. The reason why is because there are some bad people out there that will try to manipulate the market, try to do something shady like this, but this is a genuine error graded by PMG at a 65 EPQ, and it sold for $3,000. $4,320 for this $1 bill. Now, a very important thing to understand when it comes to rare $1 bills is the serial number. Now, this has a solid number 8 serial number. Now, what's important to know here is that 8 is a very lucky number in certain countries and cultures, which causes a bill like this to be worth a lot of money. Now, even if it's not a solid number 8 and there are just a lot of 8s on the serial number, that could still be worth a lot of money. Remember, as soon as this bill has a fold anywhere on it, it's going to decrease the bill's value dramatically, so don't let that happen. Imagine turning your $1 bill into $4,320 just like this person did. One of my favorite types of $1 bills, this is what collectors call a specimen note. Now, this one sold for $2,880, so there's a few things you need to keep your eyes peeled on. First of all, you see the red stamps on both the front and the back of the bill. Next, you're going to notice that the serial number is an ascending ladder. That means it goes from 2 all the way to 9 consecutively. So what is a specimen bill? So a specimen bill is produced for different countries around the world to show them what a genuine example of a bill looks like. This is because certain countries around the world will accept US federal currency and they do not know what to look for when it comes to counterfeit currency. So essentially, you're going to have the denominations of 1 all the way to 100 that have specimens on them. And nearly all the time, they're going to have a fancy serial number like this. There is really high incentive for someone to see a video like mine and say, hey, I'm just going to get a red stamper and stamp specimen on it and turn my $1 bill into $2,880 like this one sold for. Now, how this typically gets out is a bank employee will see this and they'll say, oh, I'll just take this home, or I have someone that I'm going to sell this to. That is against the rules, that is illegal, so you don't want to do that. But these do get out into collectors' hands. If you have a specimen bill, you want to make sure sure you get the full money's worth for your bill. What we recommend is getting your bill graded if it is indeed a genuine specimen note. Then you're going to be able to sell it on a auction website like Heritage or like eBay is a great example. If you have a specimen bill, you're in for a real treat because $2,880 for this one. This is the type of bill we've all been waiting for. $4,200 for this web note from 1988. So essentially, if you're not familiar with what a web note is, during the late 80s, they wanted to try a new printing style from a web press machine. And now these web presses are very similar to how they produce newspapers in one continuous roll. Today, sheets of paper money are produced in large subject sheets that are non-continuous. What they were trying to do was to produce more money more efficiently, but what happened was there were just a lot of errors and mistakes and paper jams happening on this sort of printing style. Now there are 3 ways you can tell if you have a web note. These are the 3. First of all, I like to point out Washington's portrait here. You're going to notice on a web note it's going to be a lot more washed out. The next area you want to look at is the plate position on the front of the bill. So if you look in the bottom right corner, you're going to see a plate position. Now on a normally issued bill, you're going to have a number and a letter. On a web note, you're going to have just a number. So that's one way to tell as well. Now the last and easiest way, in my opinion, to see if you have a web note is the back of the bill. So on a web note, to the right of In God We Trust, you will see a back plate number. And on a normal bill, it's going to be on the back bottom right area. Now remember, if you have one of these 3 that I just showed you, you have all 3 and you have a web note. Make sure you get it certified, graded, especially if it's in a really high grade like this one at a 67 that sold for $4,200. This is a genuine, real $1 bill from 1928. This is a silver certificate. So back in the day, you could bring a bill like this to the bank and get silver back, which is so cool. What's even more cool is that this $1 bill sold for $99,875. When it comes to the value of a silver certificate, you're looking for a few things. One, this key date from 1928D is important when it comes to these silver certificate bills. That in combination with the fact that it's a star note and it's a high grade of a 66 EPQ allowed this silver certificate $1 bill from 1928 to sell for $99,875. When you're looking at the back of this 1995 bill that sold for $14,100, you're not going to know what's going on or why it sold for so much money until you flip it over and realize that there is an additional back printing on the face of this bill. Now you have to be very careful because we've personally seen people try to replicate this error online. We recommend against buying anything like this unless it is already certified. Now if you come across one in Pocket Change, you're going to want to get a magnification glass to see if the print style is similar to what's already on the bill. If you see a bunch of colorful dots that looks like it went through someone's printer, that's a huge red flag and it's likely altered. Stay away from that. But this genuine error note sold for $14,100. I won't spend too much time here, but $28,200 for this $1 bill. Now yes, this is a genuine 1781 $1 bill. The fact that a piece of paper is this old and still around from the year 1781 is mind-blowing. Most people don't even know these are real, but the scary part is there are a lot of counterfeits of these out there, so be careful. But if you come across an old Colonial currency bill like this one from New York, there's a good chance it's pretty rare. It's going to be worth at least a few $100s, but if you have a really rare type like this one and it's in a good grade, it could sell for a ton of money, just like this one that sold for $28,200. So this is another web note, guys, but this one sold for $24,000 and the grade is actually lower. Now if you know why the condition of this one's lower but the value is higher, let me know down in the comment section below if you see it or not. Go ahead, pause the video and say I see it or say I don't see it. I'll give you a few seconds. So here's the reason why. Again, this 1988 bill is a $1 bill web note that graded by PCGS at a 40 PPQ. That means premium paper quality. There's no holes, no tears in the bill. That does matter for condition and value. But the main reason is that the suffix letter, which is that L at the end of the serial number, is mismatched. So you can see there's an L at the top right serial number and a star at the bottom left serial number. So not only is this a rare web note, but it's also an error note. So if you have a rare web note that's also an error, you're in for a real treat because $24,000 for this $1 bill. We hope you enjoyed this video. Smash that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of the videos we put out every day. We will see you in the next one.